It was a calm Saturday morning when I stepped outside, coffee in hand, ready to wash my pride and joy, a 2019 Mustang GT, bright red, custom rims, perfectly polished. I'd saved for years to buy that car. It wasn't just a vehicle. It was a dream sitting in my driveway. But that morning, my dream had vanished. The driveway was empty. At first, I thought it was a joke. I checked the garage, the street, even called my friend Dave, who sometimes helped with maintenance. But when he said, "Man, I haven't touched your car," my stomach dropped. My heart started pounding as I scanned the neighborhood. That's when I noticed the HOA president, Mr. Thompson, standing across the street. He gave me a nervous smile and waved. Normally, he was smug and bossy, always warning people about HOA violations. But this time, he looked uneasy. I walked up to him. "Morning, Mr. Thompson. You seen a red Mustang around?" I asked. He hesitated. Well, funny thing about that," he said, scratching the back of his neck. "I think my son might have borrowed it." "Borrowed it?" I repeated, disbelief hitting me. "You mean stole it?" He raised his hands defensively. No, he just took it for a short drive. I was going to talk to you once he got back." But before I could even respond, a police cruiser turned the corner, lights flashing. My heart sank further as the officer stepped out and walked straight toward us. "Sir, are you the owner of a red Mustang GT?" the officer asked. "Yes," I said quickly. The officer sighed. "I'm afraid there's been an accident. The driver's been taken into custody. He crashed into a patrol vehicle while trying to evade a stop." I turned to Mr. Thompson, who looked pale as chalk. "Your son did this?" I shouted. He didn't answer. My dream car was gone, and the HOA president's son, the same kid who always blasted music past curfew, was sitting in jail for wrecking it. I clenched my fists. This wasn't going to end quietly. "He's paying for this," I muttered. By the next morning, the entire neighborhood knew. The HOA gossip chain worked faster than the local news. People whispered when I walked by, pretending to rake leaves or water plants. I didn't care about the rumors. All I wanted was accountability. I went to the impound lot with Officer Ramirez, the one who'd handled the report. The sight broke me. My Mustang was crushed at the front. The hood bent like a tin can. Windshield shattered, airbags exploded. It was beyond repair. "Hit a patrol car head on," Ramirez said grimly. "Kid's lucky to be alive." The kid, Ethan Thompson, the HOA president's 20-year-old son, was in county jail, facing charges for reckless driving, vehicle theft, and fleeing police. I wanted to feel relieved, but all I felt was anger. When I got home, Mr. Thompson was waiting on my porch. He looked exhausted, but his tone still carried that arrogant HOA superiority. "Listen," he began. "I know this looks bad, but Ethan didn't mean to steal it. He thought it'd be fine to take it for a quick spin." I laughed bitterly. "He thought it'd be fine? He totaled my car, hit a police cruiser, and now you're making excuses?" He sighed. "We'll handle the damages quietly. No need to involve lawyers or the HOA in this." That's when I realized what he was really worried about, his reputation. He didn't care about my car. He cared about how it would look if the HOA president's son was officially charged with grand theft auto. "I already filed a report," I said coldly. "The cops know exactly what happened. There's no covering this up." His jaw tightened. "You're making a mistake," he warned. "We can make this go away if you cooperate. But if you push it..." I cut him off. "Are you threatening me?" He didn't answer, just turned and walked away, muttering something about community harmony. That night, a notice appeared on my door, an HOA violation. Apparently, my damaged vehicle was an eyesore that disrupted neighborhood aesthetics. I stared at the paper in disbelief. My car had been stolen and wrecked by his son, and now he was fining me for it. It wasn't just personal anymore. It was war. I grabbed my phone, called my lawyer friend, and said, "We're taking this to court. I'm done playing nice." The following week was chaos. News had spread that the HOA president's son had been arrested for stealing a resident's car. Neighbors pretended to mind their own business, but I could see curtains twitching every time I stepped outside. I didn't care. I had bigger things to focus on, like holding the Thompsons accountable. My lawyer, Rachel Nguyen, was sharp, confident, and ruthless when it came to justice. After reviewing the police report, she said, "This is open and shut. Unauthorized use, property damage, and a clear abuse of HOA authority. They're done." Hearing that felt good. Finally, someone was on my side. We filed a civil suit for property damage and emotional distress, demanding full compensation for my Mustang. Mr. Thompson, meanwhile, tried everything to make it disappear. He sent letters, called me, even showed up again at my door. "Look," he pleaded, "Ethan's just a kid. This will ruin his future. Can't we work something out privately?" I crossed my arms. "He ruined my car. Maybe he should have thought about the consequences before stealing it." He sighed. "You're making a scene. The HOA board is concerned about the community image." "Oh, now you care about the community?" I snapped. "Where was that concern when your son was joyriding in my car?" His mask of calm cracked for a moment. "You'll regret this," he muttered before storming off. A few days later, Rachel called me with an update. "They're trying to argue that you left the keys accessible, that it was a misunderstanding, not theft." I couldn't believe it. "He broke into my garage, Rachel. There's security footage." "Exactly," she said. "And that footage is going to destroy their defense." When the court day came, Mr. Thompson and Ethan sat across from me. Ethan looked terrified, but his father was defiant. He spoke about community spirit and forgiveness, acting like this was just some neighborhood dispute instead of a crime. But when Rachel played the footage, showing Ethan sneaking into my garage, starting the car and speeding off, the courtroom went silent. The judge leaned forward. "Looks like your son didn't borrow the car, Mr. Thompson. He stole it." Mr. Thompson's face turned red. He knew it was over. The court ordered full restitution for my car and denied their attempt to suppress the HOA's involvement. Ethan was sentenced to 6 months in jail, plus probation. But I wasn't celebrating yet. I had a feeling Mr. Thompson wasn't finished trying to get revenge. For a short while, I thought it was over. Ethan was in jail, my insurance claim was approved, and the court had ruled in my favor. I even started looking for another Mustang, something to replace the hole that Red Beauty had left behind. But peace didn't last long. A week after the verdict, I began receiving HOA citations again. One said my driveway was improperly maintained. Another claimed my trash cans were visible from the street. Then came one about disruptive conduct within the community. Every notice was signed by Mr. Thompson. He was using his HOA power for revenge. When I confronted him at the next HOA meeting, the room went quiet. The usual smug grin was gone, replaced by cold fury. "You think you humiliated me?" he said quietly, his voice trembling with anger. "You dragged my family's name through the mud." "You did that yourself," I replied. "Your son committed a crime and you tried to cover it up." He slammed his fist on the table. "You're banned from HOA gatherings until further notice." The other board members looked uncomfortable. One of them, Linda, who'd always seemed fair, whispered, "This isn't right and you know it." I nodded. Then maybe it's time the neighborhood knew what really goes on behind these doors. The next morning, I sent every neighbor an email, complete with court documents, police reports, and security footage. Within hours, the HOA group chat exploded. People were furious. They realized their president wasn't protecting the community. He was protecting himself. By the end of the week, a special vote was held. Mr. Thompson was removed as HOA president. When he came to clear out his office, he didn't even look at me. But as he passed, he muttered, "You've made an enemy for life." I smiled. "I don't need enemies, Mr. Thompson. Just accountability." A few months later, Ethan was released from jail. To everyone's surprise, he came by my house one evening. I expected another confrontation, but instead he looked ashamed. "Sir," he said quietly, "I'm sorry. I messed up. I shouldn't have taken your car. I just wanted to show off to some friends. My dad made everything worse." For the first time, I saw sincerity in his eyes. I nodded slowly. "Owning up to your mistakes is a start." When he left, I looked at the empty driveway, soon to hold my brand-new Mustang. This time I smiled. Justice had been served, not just in court, but in truth.